All right, everybody, we're here for another update on the Edmonton real estate market. We're now into February, so we're going to be looking at the stats from January from the Realtors Association of Edmonton. They just released the stats a couple days ago, and we're going to be reviewing both single-family home activity and condo activity because it's a much different picture between condos and single-family homes. Especially in single-family homes lately, we're really starting to see the market pick up. So I'm going to be pointing out a few really cool statistics to you guys. And once again, if you'd like to get some advice and feedback on sort of your plans to buy or sell a home in the Edmonton area in 2022, you should go to booktrevornow.com and you can schedule a free consultation call with me. We'll spend anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes reviewing your plans to buy or sell a home this year, and I'll help point out some strategic opportunities for you that are going to be based on your budget, the areas that you're looking in, and even the types of homes that you're interested in. The market is very local, so depending on what you're looking for or what you're selling, it's going to affect what strategies are going to make sense for you so that you can keep more money in your pocket this year. So head over to booktrevornow.com and you'll see a time that you can schedule on my calendar, and we'll hop on a call. So without further ado, we'll get into the market report. We're going to start with single-family homes. With single-family homes, we saw a big shift in the last month. If you watched my last video, you noticed that we had a really strong December. Even though things are typically slower in December, it was a pretty strong December compared to the last year. So I was expecting things to continue to pick up. So what we saw with the market shift in single-family homes is we went into a balanced market, essentially, according to the stats. So with a 36.55% listing absorption rate, we had 1,576 active listings, and 576 of those listings were sold in January 22. So that's how you basically calculate your absorption rate. And this is a quick way to look at the market as a whole to try to figure out if it's a buyer's market, if it's a balanced market, or if it's a seller's market. And last month, we were sitting at a 28% listing absorption rate. So it was still technically a buyer's market, but right on the cusp of moving into more of a balanced market. So we saw a pretty big shift up to 36.5%. And now we're almost right in the middle of a balanced market. Now, that's the market as a whole. Certain neighborhoods, I'm definitely seeing some pretty crazy activity right now where we have really low inventory, and as soon as something nice comes on the market, you got lots of buyers jumping on it. So some markets might feel a lot more like a seller's market. I do think we have an inventory problem if you look basically just at the stats. Let's keep going ahead here. I think this will probably continue throughout February, essentially. So now if we look at the average price for single family homes in Edmonton, was at $451,054 for January 2022. That's technically down 4.34% from December, but up 3.32% from January 2021. This stat, I wouldn't pay too much of attention to it right now. It's always a little bit skewed, just depends on what's selling. If you've got a lot more expensive homes selling in December, for example, that will skew things if the next month you have a lot more cheaper homes selling. It's not necessarily the same home. So it makes it look like the average price dropped from December to January, but that's not really true in reality. So don't pay too much attention to that one right now. Now, the average price trend as well, this also makes it look like there was a drop for 2022 compared to 2021, but we've only got 1 month from 2022 so far. So the 2021 numbers showing that it was up 7% from 2020, with an average price of $467,206, and then now it's saying that we're at $451,54. That's only taking into account January, whereas 2021 you had the average for the whole year. This number will continue to change in 2022 for each additional month of data that we have. So right now I'd almost ignore it because it's not good on its own. Now, if we jump a little bit further into the actual active and sold listings, as I mentioned before, at the end of January, we had 1,576 active single-family homes on the market in Edmonton and 576 sales. So from an inventory perspective, we actually have 20.16% less homes available on the market from December going into January. So that's a pretty significant drop in inventory. And if you look at it from year to year, that's 26.56% less inventory than January 2021. So things were going pretty good last January, And this January, just based on inventory, that's also showing that we're setting ourselves up to have a pretty competitive market this year. With sales being at 576, that's up 3.6% from December, and it's up 17% from January 2021. So we got less listings available and more sales than we did for the same month last year. So right here is the 13-month history, and it's just basically comparing the active inventory is the number at the top. So last January, we had 2,146 active listings and 492 sales. And if then you compare that to this month with 1,576 and 576 sales, it's a much different picture. So we got more sales and significantly less inventory. Last year, you could see that our inventory continued to pick up a little bit. More people listing their homes. We had in February, it was about the same. Then in March, we went up to almost 2,400, almost 2,700 in April, over 3,000 active listings in May, then 32, almost 3,300 in June, and then 3,400 in July. And that's actually when we peaked for our inventory last year, was in July. But we're nowhere near those numbers right now. So hopefully we start to see a lot more inventory come on the market. I know I've got a lot of clients that are sort of just in the sidelines waiting for nice homes to come up. And I think that's pretty true across the board for a lot of agents, particularly in Southwest Edmonton is where I'm noticing this the most, where there just doesn't seem to be enough homes available that suit people's needs. So as soon as something nice comes up, it goes quickly. So if you're looking to buy a single family home, one of the best things you can do is get set up on immediate updates. So as soon as something hits the market, you'll get an email right away, versus if you're just using realtor.ca or a lot of these other websites. At most, you'll get an email once a day, which is still pretty good. Like honestly, if you get an email once a day with any new listings, you'll be pretty much in the loop. But if you reach out to me, you can call me on my cell or shoot me a text at 780-819-5508. We can connect and I can find out sort of what you're looking for, and I can actually get you set up on instant updates. That way, as soon as something hits the market, you can get an email and we can get you out to see it, potentially even that same day or the next day. That gets really important as the market gets more competitive, because a lot of these houses are going pending within the first 1, 2, 3 days at most in some cases. So you want to be able to get in there, see it, and put your offer in if it's a house that you like. So just reach out to me there, or again, you can go to the Book Trevor now and we can set up a time to chat and I can get that set up for you. Now, moving forward a little bit here, let's look at the average days on market. This stat I think might be a little bit skewed as well. So we're sitting at 52 days average on market for January, which is technically up from December when we were at 48 days, and it's down from January 2021. So last January, in 2021, we had 58 days average on the market before things sold. Now we're sitting at 52. So not a huge change here, but it is stronger than last year. And last February, like February 2021, we were sitting at 48. So we'll have to see what happens moving forward. And this is just the market distribution. I talked about this last time. This is just what percentage of the market is selling in different price brackets. So as you can see, the biggest price bracket is between 300,000 and 400,000 at 31% of the market in January. Obviously, that's going to be one of the most competitive markets. If you're a buyer, that's where it's definitely more important to be on the ball so you can get out and look at stuff quickly. If you're a seller, those are the ones where you're going to have the most activity, because that's just where most of the market is. As you get into the higher prices, the percentage of the market drops. So if you're over 700,000, you're looking at less than 3% of the market is even buying homes at prices in that range. So it's a much different story there. So that's it for single family homes. Now let's look at the condo market. I want to point out how much different it is. So just to remind you, active single family homes, 1,576 with 576 sales. Now let's see what it is for the condo market. The condo market, we've got 1,819 active listings with 267 sales. So we have more condos available for sale and almost half as many sales. So it's a much different picture. But let's jump right back up to the top. With the listing absorption rate, it's at 14.68% in the condo market. And that's because we had, like I said, 1,819 listings and 276 sales. So 14.68% of those listings sold. That puts us square in the middle of a buyer's market. So it's still a strong buyer's market in most cases for the condos, and not a significant change. It's still a good increase from last January though, because last January, we were sitting at 11.61%. So going from that to almost 15% is a good increase. So if you're selling a condo, things are looking better, just not as strong as the single family home market. But overall, it's been pretty flat here. You can see that we've been in the 14s and a couple 13s basically since last July. We did see things in March and April last year. We got up to 16.46% and then 18.33%. Still squarely in the middle of a buyer's market, but hopefully we'll see these numbers come up here in the coming months. If we look at average price for condos, $220,478 in January, which is up 9.28% from December and up 3.23% from January 2021. Again, wouldn't put too much weight on this. It's kind of funny, I'm telling you that the condo market's not doing as well as the single family home market. But if you look at this average price, it looks like, oh, we're up 9.28% from last month. It sounds like it's doing great. Again, it can very easily be skewed just based on what's selling. There's a whole bunch of different types of condos. You could have a 1-bedroom apartment that's, you know, $150,000 or less, or you could be buying like a fancy penthouse apartment condo that's $400,000 or more in some cases, or there's also condominiumized townhouses and even in some cases detached homes, believe it or not. So there's a big range of condos. That's just about the ownership structure. And that's what can easily allow your average price to be quite skewed. If you're wanting to know what the value of your condo is or what your single family home is, you got to reach out to me and I can get a lot more specific for you. So let's keep going here. If we look at the average price trend, this is just on a year basis. It's just showing that we're down 0.57% for the average price of 2022 so far. We've only got 1 month versus the prices in 2021. So if you watch my other videos, I pointed out that the condo market did see one of its first positive years in a long time in 2021, with the average prices being up 3%. So that's good. And we'll continue to see what happens with the condo market as we get further into 2022. So let's look a little closer at the active and sold listings. So like I said, we had 1,819 active listings with 267 sales. Our inventory is dropping from December. So we had 8.45% less condo inventory than December and 5.7% less from January 2021. So this is good if you're looking to sell. It shows that at least the inventory levels are going down, because that's what you need essentially. You need less inventory in the condo market for a lot of that supply to be eaten up by buyers. And with the sales, we're just down a little bit from December, so pretty much same number of sales in January from December, but we're up 19.2% from January 2021. So that's good. That's a healthy increase from last year, going from 224 sales to 267 sales. And we are sitting at a little bit less inventory too than we were last year. So got a little bit more sales and a little less inventory. So you can see how that is definitely a shift in the market, but it's nothing like the single family home market. Now for average days on market, we're sitting at 76 days for January 2022. Again, much different than single family homes, which I think was at 52 or something like that, or 54. And we're up technically from December, so 13.43% slower, and it is also technically up 7% from January 2021 when we were sitting at 71 days. This is the market distribution for condos. Again, much different. Almost 54% of the market in January for condos was under 200,000, with a 30% between 200,000 and 300,000. And just under 10% between 300,000 and 400,000. So if you've got an expensive condo that's worth more than 400,000, again, you're looking at less than 5% of the market that would even consider buying it, essentially. So it's a much different picture depending on what type of condo that you're selling. And that sort of wraps it up for the condos versus single family homes. If we look at the total residential numbers, they're a little bit different as well. That's basically combining both condos and single family homes. And you can see that we're still technically in a buyer's market overall, but we are getting closer to a balanced market. We were sitting at 24% listing absorption rate in December for the whole market, and we moved up to a 26.58% listing absorption rate. The average price trend for the whole market sitting at $375,538, just down a little bit from December 2021 of 1.14%, but it is up from January 2021 of by 3.22%. And again, the average price trend for the whole market last year, we were up 6.25%. So far, it makes it look like we're down 2.4%, but we've only got 1 month of the year so far, so it's not really a very effective stat to look at. If we look at the total active and solds, the whole market's got 3,732 active listings with 992 sold. We've got 5.78% less inventory as a whole from last month and 8.42% less from January last year. And the sales are up almost 2.5% from last month and up 19.8% from January 2021. So you can see even when we combine both condos and single family homes, it does show that the market is shifting. Our average for everything is 90 days on market, which seems skewed. I almost don't even want to trust that stat. I'll have to double check that one because that's somehow higher than both the condo and the single family home. So let's ignore that stat. But that's it for the market report. Again, if you'd like to get some more specific guidance on what you should do in 2022, whether you're buying or selling a home, head over to Book Trevor now. You'll see basically my calendar, and you can select a time sometime in the next few days where we can hop on a call and I can help steer you to make some strategic moves that will help you save some money this year or get a better deal or something like that. So it all depends on what you are looking to do this year. So thanks for watching the video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to get updates on future videos, and I will see you on the next video.